education have been completely brainwashed to hating America. They are now the news anchors, the news writers, the news reporters, the opinion shapers, the policy makers. I mean, just look at our president. We don't have a commander-in-chief. We have an apologizer-in-chief whenever this is an opportunity for us. The strategy worked so well on college campus that the Muslims decided, why wait until the kids get to college? Why don't we start with them in middle and high school? This way, by the time they get to college, they are 18 years old and they vote. And we have them in the palm of our hand. So in 1991, the Islam Project was launched out of California. The Islam Project was funded by money coming out of the Middle East. The Islam Project started providing consultants to America's top publishers of textbooks and social studies books and history books in the United States, like Houghton Mifflin, McGraw-Hill, Apprentice Hall, etc., to teach them on how Islam should be taught in public schools across America. So they introduced a course called the Islam course. It's a 3-week course where students, little Johnny and Sally, have to become Muslims for 3 weeks, adopt Islamic names, memorize and recite verses from the Quran, and go to a mosque on a field trip to experience what it's like to be a Muslim. And when I started speaking about this, right after I did my research, because this is detailed in my second book, They Must Be Stopped, which came out in 2008, and when I started doing the research, I said, oh my gosh, we've got to expose this. And when I started talking about it, people would say to me, oh, Brigitte, you're exaggerating. That couldn't possibly be happening in America. Because we in America have separation of church and state. I mean, we can't even sing Christmas carols at school anymore. We cannot even put up a Christmas tree. We cannot even, we call it now a winter break. We don't even call it Christmas holiday or Easter holiday. It's called spring break. We can't even put the 10 Commandments in our federal buildings anymore. Yeah. And I said, oh yeah? Let me share something with you. Here is the course. This is the course that was launched in California in 1991. This course was put out by a company called Interaction Publishers, Inc., doing business as Interact, copyrighted 1991. Now, doesn't that sound so multicultural and wonderful? Interaction, Publishers Interaction, Inc. So, this is the course was launched. And here's just a few quotes from the course. I'm not going to go through it all, but I believe it's important to give you an overview as to what we're dealing with. The teacher starts her instructions by saying, from the beginning, you and your classmates will become Muslims. You will be a member of a caravan. The teacher is already assuming the kids are all Muslims. The teacher continues her or his instructions by saying, dressing as a Muslim and trying to be involved will increase your learning and enjoyment. Trying your best at all tasks will guarantee you an excellent grade and a more enjoyable time. The teacher is already dangling the great carrot in front of the students so they can get with the program. And I'm just going to flip very fast through this course. But one thing I want to read you out of this course is this wisdom card. This is wisdom card. They are fact cards for the students to memorize their Islam lesson. These are cue cards, like when students want to memorize their multiplication tables or whatever, etc. They use cue cards. This is so they can memorize the Islam lesson. So here's what they're teaching our students about jihad. Now, I chose this card in particular because obviously jihad plays a major role in Islamic radicalism. I mean, every Islamic terrorist uses the word jihad when he's trying to kill himself. Oh, I'm dying fi sabil jihad in the path of Allah. I mean, look at the Marlon brothers, him talking with his mother about jihad. Remember the Boston bomber? You've got Islamic organizations that name themselves the Islamic Jihad. Look, the head of Islamic Jihad in America, Sami al-Aryan, was one of your own in Florida that we ended up arresting and sending into exile. So obviously jihad plays a major role in Islamic radicalism. But here's what our little Johnny and Sally are learning in public schools about what jihad is. A jihad is a struggle by Muslims against oppression, invasion, and injustice. Now, if these words sound familiar to you, it's because these words are the talking points of Al-Qaeda. Every time Al-Qaeda issues a press release against America, what do they say they're fighting America for? We are fighting oppression. We are fighting injustice. We are fighting invasion. Anytime you hear a Palestinian suicide bomber trying to blow himself up or blowing himself up, remember how they record these videos before they die, the night before they die? Oh, he's dying, the poor freedom fighter, dying fi sabili jihad, in the path of jihad, because he is fighting oppression and injustice and occupation and invasion. So now, we are teaching our students the talking points of our enemies in public school paid for by our tax dollars. Do you see how dangerous this is? Do you see how sophisticated our enemy has become? While our president talks about Al-Qaeda, and our war against Al-Qaeda, our enemy is way too smarter than just the foolish, ignorant, many leaders that we have on Capitol Hill right now in our government. This is frightening, because this is how they started to teach 6th and 7th grade back in 1991, 10 years prior to September 11th. That's how far. This course has been being taught right now for 21 years. So all indoctrination, all the new children have gone, anybody under 21 who has gone to public schools, because this is a state-approved curriculum, this curriculum became so entrenched in our public school system right now. What started as a course like this by itself is now weaved into our textbooks across the country, social studies books and history books, etc., that 22 questions on the SOL testing, which the students have to pass in order to get into college, 22 questions out of the SOL testing are out of this course. You know, Hitler made a very important statement. Hitler said, "Give me the children, and I will change society in 10 years." And that's exactly what he did. And this is how we are losing the future generation of America. This is how you look around you today and you think to yourself, what's happening to our country? Whatever happened to patriotism? Whatever happened to people that love our country? What's happening to our children? How can we have a new generation of Americans today, under the age of 30, who loathe America, who apologize for America, who think America is too big, too bad, too evil, too imperialistic, who are more sympathetic with our enemies than they are with our own people and our own soldiers? That's how, because of this education. And this is why we must speak out, we must organize, we must throw political correctness in the garbage where it belongs and start